Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Charlotte Ashman. Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything educational and inspirational. In today's video, I'll be helping students to prep for the 2026 PEP exam. We'll be looking at ability test. All right, so if you know someone who is preparing for the PEP exam in grade 6, just let them know that Dr. Ashman is live. All right, so we're gonna have fun for the next 30 minutes helping students to prep for their exams. All right, let's see who was here first. Let's see. My students are there waiting on me on YouTube. You can also join us on Facebook, guys. Okay. See, they were just chatting away. All right, so Tashika Lowe, you were first. Welcome, Tashika. And Teddy Bear was second. Teddy Bear says that she was there first. All right, guys, thanks so much for spending time with me every day. I appreciate that. Let's hope we can get some work done today. Now, as usual, I'm going to be working from the Learning Hub Academy website, all right? Guys, if you're not on Learning Hub, you need to get a subscription, right? We have content for students in from kindergarten all the way to high school. So we have kindergarten content, grade 1 content, grade 2 content, grade 3, and so on. We also have content for students who are suffering from intellectual disabilities, all right? So we've just digitized the curriculum for students with moderate to profound intellectual disabilities, and we have that up on our system as well. We are also working to add content for students who are struggling with other special needs, other needs, all right? So we'll tell you a little bit more about that. All right, so let me share my screen. I'm using my ability test workbook. You can find this, as I said before, on Learning Hub Academy. All right, and I'm just gonna jump right into today's lesson. Yesterday we did these questions, question 1 to 5, I'm sure we did that. We didn't look at question 6. Let us look at some fill in the blank questions. All right. All right, guys, so we're looking at a fill in the blank question, question number 6. It says Shelly had the dash, so she was not able to go to the dash, right? And we realize that the words that we're looking for is flu and sea. So Shelly had the flu, so she was not able to go to the sea. But the problem is, which flu? Is it FLEW? Is it FLU? Which flu? And which C? Is it SEE or SEA? All right, guys, let me hear what you're saying. So Shelly has the flu, so she was not able to go to the sea. All right, so everybody's getting that one right. FLU, yes, that's the bug. And she was not able to go to the SEA. That's where you go to swim. That's the body of water. Yes, she was not able to go to the sea. All right. So SEE, that's the one that that you use. That's a C that has to do with looking at things, viewing things, right? SEA, that has to do with the body of water, right? Okay. Good job, guys. All right, let's look at the next question. The hardware store had a sale on both sales. Ah, this is a good one. All right, guys, let's see what you have for that. The hardware store had a sale on both sales. All right, so is it SAIL that the hardware store had, or is it SALE? what do we put there, guys? All right, yes. So I see a number of persons. This person said, DD, miss put me up. All right, so the hardware store had a sale. So SALE, yes, that's when you have a slash in price. And so the hardware store had a sale, SALE, on both sales. Now, the SAIL, that is a part of the boat. And something I want you guys to notice here. I want you to notice something, guys. You have B saying SALE, and that's the sale, yeah. So that's where you have things selling at a discount. And then you have SAIL. Is it SAIL or SAILS? All right, guys, what are you saying? I see my genius IO is saying that it is SAIL. All right, guys, let's talk about this a little bit. So SALE, we're already comfortable with that. We're already comfortable with that. We know that's a sale. But guys, something I want you to notice. If the hardware store is having a sale on both sales, it cannot be SAIL because it's not just one sale that the hardware store would be selling. It would be SAILS, a number of sales, a number of boat sales. So that you know that the sale, I said it's a part of the boat. That is that fabric that you put on the boat that helps to move it across the water. So if they're having a sale on both sales, then guys, you know that it's gonna be more than one boat sale that they're gonna have the sale on. Right, so it's more than one SAIL that they're going to have the SALE on, okay? So of course, guys, the answer is going to be D and not B as in Bob, okay? So guys, when you're doing these fill in the blank questions, make sure that the answer makes sense, all right? So, I mean, if you weren't paying attention, you'd have chosen B, that they had a sale on the boat sale, but B is just saying one sale, see there? And the hardware store wouldn't have a sale on just one sale. It would be a sale on both sales, okay? All right, look at this fill in the blank, guys. Johnny missed his bus and had to run home in the rain. All right, so we have missed, M-I-S-T, we have missed, M-I-S-S-E-D, and then for rain, we have R-E-I-G-N, and we have R-A-I-N. All right, guys, I want you to tell me which of the missed, and I want you to tell me which of the rain. All right, guys, I don't just want you to tell me the answer. I want you to tell me which of the missed and which of the rain. So Johnny missed his bus and had to run home in the rain. In the rain, in the rain. Come on, guys, let me see some explanations. All right, I see persons putting up D. I'm not going to put up the answer. I'm not going to put up your answer, guys. You have to put an explanation. So I want to see why you are saying that it is D. So it's not just good enough for you to just put up D. Why is it D? Look at this explanation. All right, hold on. This person said, me, miss, I can explain. Go ahead, Simone Jameson, explain. I don't see an explanation. You're just saying that you can explain. Yes, you guys, this person is saying rain because it makes sense. All right, but you guys have to explain to me, why does rain make sense? All right. This person said because it is spelled correctly. Guys, no. I want to hear how you're thinking. Guys, the whole idea of PEP is for you to think critically and for you to reason. So I don't just want you to choose an answer and tell me that it makes sense and it is spelled correctly. I want you to reason it out, guys. I don't hear any explanation. All right. Okay, guys, let me tell you what I'm looking for. So guys, so yes, the answer is D, right? But here's what I want you to tell me. It's D because yes, it's the past tense of miss, right? So he missed his bus. The MIST could not be MIST. Why? Because MIST has to do with light fog. So that MIST would not be correct for not catching your bus. That has to do with light fog. So it's not missed, MIST. Then now he had to run home in the rain. And we have two words for rain there. We have REIGN and we have RAIN. So guys, I expect you to tell me that REIGN is like the rule of a king or a queen, and the REIGN is not related to the weather, right? RAIN, on the other hand, is water falling from the sky. All right, so that's what I expect you guys to tell me. So if you are going to tell me mist and rain, why? Yeah, so I want you to reason it out like that for me. All right, so somebody said, Miss, put me up, please, D, because mist is past enough mist and rain is falling water. Okay. All right, let's look at the next question, geniuses. Select the word that does not belong to the group. Pool, lake, river, pond. Pool, lake, river, pond. All right, guys, let's hear what you're saying on this one. Pool, lake, river, pond. Let's talk about this one. All right, guys, let me see what you guys are saying in regards to pool, lake, river, pond. All right. Miss Pond, because all the others are natural sources of water. So you're saying, if you're saying pond is the answer, then you're saying pool is natural, lake is natural, river is natural. That's what you're saying, Chrissy. No, Carissa, Cree. You're saying that pond because all the others are natural sources of water, right? But I beg to differ because a pool would not be natural. If that's the reasoning, then a pool is man-made. So, Carissa, I would not agree with you. All right, so guys, for this one, I would go with Carissa's idea that you have three of them that are natural and then one is man-made, but the pool would be the man-made source of water. All right, let's move on to another question. All right, normally I skip the essay questions and you'll notice that I skip the quantitative reasoning questions as well. Guys, on Friday, I have my Zoom sessions at 6 o'clock. Those are paid sessions. I'm gonna ask that you join so you can participate in those live Zoom sessions where I work out the quantitative reasoning question that require us to work stuff out. And we do our essay questions in those sessions, all right? So I'm gonna skip the essays and I'm gonna skip the quantitatives. All right, let's look at this one. I think we looked at this yesterday. Oh, no, we didn't look at this one. Guys, let's look at this series below and it says which number should come next. Which number should come next? Let's look at that, guys. And guys, remember, on Friday, we're having a Zoom session at 6 o'clock on Learning Hub Academy. So guys, I'm gonna ask you to go to Learning Hub Academy and register from 6 to 8. We're gonna have a Zoom session. And on Saturday morning, we're gonna have our marathon. That's gonna be our last big hurrah before the PEP exam. So we're gonna be on from 7 a.m. Saturday morning until 12 noon on Zoom. It's a paid session. So just go to learninghubacademy.com and just register. Register for the Zoom Friday evening, 6 to 8, and register for Saturday morning from 7 a.m. until 12 noon. So in our Zoom, you'll be able to talk, you'll be able to ask questions, I'll be working stuff out on the board, that kind of a thing, okay? So guys, make sure that you register for the Zoom marathon on Saturday and the Zoom class on Friday, okay? All right, let's jump back into class. All right, look at this series below. Which number should come next? So you have 8, 11, 9, 12, 10, 13. All right, I want to see if you guys can figure this one out. All right, guys, let me hear some explanations on this one. And guys, please remember that if you go to our Instagram page, it's Learning Hub GRP. We have tons of videos there that you can watch. And these are past paper questions. And if you go to TikTok, our TikTok is Learning Hub GRP. Let me put that, that's our handle, Learning Hub GRP. We have videos as well. So we have tons of videos. So what we've basically done, we've taken the past paper questions and we have made explanation videos with them. So you can go there and watch our videos. So it's Learning Hub GRP on TikTok and on Instagram. All right, guys. I'm not seeing anybody coming up with the answer. Guys, I'm not seeing anybody coming up with an answer for this question. This question says 8, 11, 9, 12, 10, 13. All right, somebody says miss 11 because you add 3, then subtract 2. This person says, 11. Well, everybody's saying 11, and then B because it's counting up by 3, then subtracted by 2. All right, let's see if that is true, guys. Look at the series below. Which number should come next? 8, then 11. All right, from 8 to 11, guys, how do we get to 11 from 8? Do we add or do we subtract? All right, so we're adding 3 for real. All right, then we're at 11 and then we go to 9. How do we get from 11 to 9? We're subtracting 2. So we added 3, subtracted 2. All right, so if we're adding 3 and then subtracting 2, then when we're at 9, we're going to be adding 3. So 9 and 3 is 12. We're at 12, so we're going to subtract 2. So 12 minus 2 is going to give us 10. We're at 10, we're adding 3, so 10 plus 3 is going to be 13. So if we're at 13, then we're going to subtract 2, so 13 minus 2 is going to be 11. All right, so if you said 11, then you're on the money. All right, everybody said 11. Let me see somebody's explanation. Brittany Gilmore says, I said B, 11, because if you look at the pattern where you see 8, 9, and 10, the next one will be 11. Oh, I see what you did, Brittany. So you're saying just skip 1, and then every other one is going to go up by 1. Okay. All right. So all right, so Raekwon says 11 because it's ascending by 3, then subtract 2. All right, guys. You guys are on the money today. Good job. You are my geniuses. Good job, teachers. I think yesterday we worked this question. I just have a strange feeling you're going to get one of this in the exam. So what's the next 2 letters, guys? ADG dash dash. Yeah, we worked this yesterday. ADG dash dash. So from A to D, we skip B, we skip C. So we skip 2 letters. From D to G, we skip E, we skip F. 2 letters. So from G to the next letter, we're going to skip 2 letters. So we're going to skip H, we're going to skip I. So the next letter is going to be J. And from J to the next letter, we're going to skip 2 letters. So we're going to skip K, we're going to skip L. So the next letter is going to be M. So of course, correct. This is the correct answer. And guys, remember, the books on Learning Hub Academy, they're all interactive. So if you are using the Learning Hub Academy and you're using our books, you can simply click the answer. And of course, it's going to pop up and tell you whether or not it's correct. Some of our books, they'll have videos embedded and so on. All right. It's a very, very good website. All right. A question like this now, we will take this on tomorrow in our paid session where we can work things out on the board. All right, my favorite number line questions. I just love number line questions. And I'm telling you, if the ministry gives you one of these, I know all my students are going to get these number line questions right. All right, guys, it says examine the number line below and use it to answer question 25. Question 25 says, which fraction should be at position X? Which fraction should be at position X? Now look at the number line, guys. Which fraction should be at position X? Guys, remember the first thing you're going to do when you get this number line question, you're going to see how many parts the number line is divided into, right? And if you look carefully, guys, you're going to see that it's divided into 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's divided into 5 parts, geniuses. That's the first thing you're going to do. Check to see how many parts it's divided into. Then now, guys, you're going to check. So if it is 5 parts, you know, each part is going to go up by 1/5. So this is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 4/5, and this is 5/5, right? Now, 5/5 is the same thing as 1. So even though you're seeing 1 here, don't get flustered. It's the same thing as 5/5, okay? So the X is for 1/5. Oh, our goal today is 250 students, guys. 250 students on our live. We're at 220, which is awesome. So guys, make sure you just tell your friends that we want to go up to 250 today, so they should join us. All right, so guys, yeah, the answer here is going to be 1/5. All right, let me put up some persons who got it right. So Raekwon says 1/5 plus the numerator is doubling every time. We're just going up by 1/5, Raekwon, because this is 1/5. Next one is going to be 2/5. Yes, the next one is going to be 3/5, 4/5. We're adding 1/5 each time. All right, so yeah, everybody said B. Good job, guys. So guys, make sure that you join us tomorrow on Zoom so we can work out some of those math questions. And on Saturday, we're going to be doing some curriculum-based test work. And on Saturday, guys, I am going to give you at least minimum 200 questions to do. Actually, I'd love for you guys to, in the marathon, take on about 400 questions. That's my goal. So guys, when you pay for the marathon on Saturday, you'll have access to the Learning Hub Academy. So you'll be able to use it from Saturday up to exam day, all right? So guys, make sure that you sign up for the Zoom class tomorrow night and the marathon on Saturday. All right, somebody was asking in the chat how much it is. The marathon is $20 US, which is $3,000 approximately, and it's the same thing for the class tomorrow. All right, guys, let me see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do this question on screen. It's a quantitative, but let's see if we can work it out. Now, I'll work it out in class. All right, I'm gonna go back to we should talk a little bit about inference. Let me talk a little bit about inference and ability test, because just in case you get a little essay question and you have to infer something. Let's talk a little bit about inference. All right, guys, I want to spend some time talking a little bit about inference. I mean, this is a concept that you would have learned from grade 3, maybe grade 4, inference. All right, so can anybody tell me what inference is all about? What's an inference? Anybody knows? All right, let me put it in the chat, guys, if you know what an inference is. Yes, somebody is saying an inference is an educated guess, and that is totally correct. An inference is an educated guess. All right, so guys, let's see if you can figure this out, because sometimes the essay questions, if you get a little essay passage, you might have to infer something, right? And you know, I want to make sure that if you get one of those questions, you can answer it. All right, so let's talk about inference. So we say it's an educated guess, right? But really, you're using the knowledge that is in your genius brain, plus what you see in the text to come to a conclusion. That's what an inference is. You're using the knowledge in your little genius head, plus what you see in the text to come to a conclusion. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're standing at your gate and you see a tall, skinny man running down the road with a woman's bag, and he's running. And then you see a woman running behind him, and she's gesticulating and she's gesturing. She's telling him to stop, and he's running. Guys, what would you infer? What would you think? What would be your educated guess? Nikki is saying like what you predict. All right, so what would you infer, guys? All right. Let me see what you guys, let me see what this person says. This person said, please, miss, I'm begging you to put me up. All right, so this person is saying she is going to take the bag and what? And hive it back? Okay, so she's going to take the bag and hive it. I don't know what that means. I figure you're saying that she's going to take the bag and give it back. Guess that's what you're trying to say. All right, so I see somebody giving an inference that I like. This inference is saying the man is a thief. Yes, I would infer that the man is a thief, because if you see a man running down the road and you see a woman with a woman's bag and you see a woman running after him and telling him stop, the logical conclusion is that he stole her bag, right? Now, the man could be her husband, you know, for true. But I mean, logically, would a husband be running and would a wife be running after her husband begging him to stop? No. So the logical thing would be that he is a thief, right? Okay. Here's another inference, guys. You get up one morning and you're having breakfast and you see your mom coming down the stairs with an umbrella. What would you infer? What would you think? What would be your educated guess? What would be your smart guess? What are you going to think, guys? You see your mom coming down the stairs. She has an umbrella in her hand. What is your educated guess? Somebody say he's robbering. I don't know that word and I don't think that is a word. Okay, yes, I guess you mean that he's committed a robbery, right? All right, guys, so your mom is coming down the stairs with an umbrella? Yes. Let me see what you're saying, guys. What's your educated guess? Somebody's saying it's raining. Or this person says rain is about to fall. Yeah. Yeah. This person said it's either very sunny outside or raining outside. Yeah, these are great educated guesses, right? So you're thinking that she has an umbrella, it must be raining, or she heard on the weather report that it's going to rain. So that's what an inference is, guys. Last one. Your mom goes to the doctor and she comes out of the doctor's office and she's laughing like crazy. What would you infer? She's smiling, she looks happy. What would you infer? All right, guys. What would you infer, guys? Neymar Royal said, Miss, put me up. I'm on my knees. All right, let's see. Says she's healthy. Yes, that's a good inference. So somebody's saying, say that again. What I'm saying is your mom went to the doctor And she came out of the doctor's office and she has a smile on her face. And I'm saying, what would you infer? And somebody said she's pregnant. Guys, I would infer that she got some good news, right? Right? If she got some good news. Somebody said she got a joke. No, I don't think that she got no joke, right? I think that coming out of the doctor's office, maybe she did some tests and she got some great results, right? So nothing is wrong with her. That's why she smiled. So she got good news. All right, so guys, that's inference. And sometimes on your essay type questions, there are things that you have to infer, right? So the answer is not right there in your face. You know, so you might read a passage and it talks about the girl did not drink something. She turned her nose up, and you know they're asking you maybe what is wrong with what she was drinking. Now you have to infer what is wrong with what she was drinking. Now, guys, suppose you read something like that in a passage that somebody got a drink and they turned their nose up and they did not want to drink it. What would you infer? All right, guys, let me hear what you would infer. All right, what would you infer, guys? Yes, my phone was ringing, but I'm not answering it because you guys are my priority right now. All right, so guys, what would you infer? Somebody, you're reading a passage and you know, you see that the person that you're writing about, they got something to drink and they turn their nose up and they didn't drink it and they just make up their face. What would you infer? Somebody said it smelled bad. Guys, come on. It's some juice, a drink. And they make up their face and they hold their nose and they don't want to drink it. Yeah, it tastes bad or they don't like it, you know? So yeah, I would infer that they didn't like it. Something that they don't like, they don't want it, right? So guys, what I want you to start doing, well, you should know this by now. If you are reading a little passage and sometimes on the ability test and even on the language arts test, you might get a question that you have to infer. And guys, what I want you to do is use the knowledge that is in your smart head and what you see in the text and come up with logical conclusions, right? And guys, they must be logical, right? So you can't just make up stuff, okay? So if I come out of the doctor's office and I'm smiling, you can't write that I won $1 million. Come on, guys, that don't make any sense. If I come out of the doctor's office and I'm smiling, it means I got some positive news. I might have gotten good reports on my tests, right? If I come out of the lotto shop and I'm smiling, then maybe I won the lotto, right? So guys, your inferences must make logical sense. All right, guys, it is 7 o'clock and we're gonna finish. So guys, remember we're not gonna be on YouTube tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna have regular class on Zoom and I'd love for everybody to show up, right? Those classes, you can go to learninghubacademy.com and register. You can register with your card or you can do a bank transfer if you don't have a card, right? So register for class. And then remember that on Saturday, we're going to have a marathon and the marathon is going to be from 7 a.m. So I want you guys to get up early, 7 o'clock on Saturday, and we're going all the way until 12 noon. All right, guys, tell your friend, make sure you join my WhatsApp group. In my WhatsApp group, I post questions, I give you hints, tell you how to study. And something I want to do for you guys, there is a course on Learning Hub Academy called Speed Drills. I made that course $1. You know why? Because sometimes students don't do well on their exams, not because they don't know the content. They could be A students, but they don't know how to manage their time. So guys, if you fall into that category where you know the stuff already, but you don't know how to manage your time, go ahead and register for the Speed Drills on Learning Hub Academy. The speed drills is going to show you how to think quickly, right? To think quickly and to write quickly and to write the correct thing. Okay, so go ahead and register for the speed drills. They're only $1 That's $150. Your parents can't say they can't afford it. All right, so go ahead, guys, register for the speed drills and practice to think quickly. All right, because sometimes that is your problem. Not that you don't know it, you just don't know how to think quickly. All right, guys, I see you tomorrow. And for those of you who are going to be doing the marathon, I see you on Saturday. Have yourself a great rest of the evening. Goodbye.